question for you all. What if science isn't true? So, we agree that science is true, right? Raise your hands if you agree that science is true. Well, it isn't. It's not true at all. As STEM people, we usually put science on a pedestal since this is what we all are studying for. But science isn't about truth. It isn't about truth. It's about constant progress for what we know about the universe. We use our senses to observe whatever is in the universe, and then we do experiments, and then we try to conclude if whatever is seen can be falsified. So, this is a quote from George Box, which is a statistician. He says that all models are wrong, but some are useful. What does he mean by this? So models here is the scientific model. So for example, Newtonian mechanics, quantum mechanics, and general relativity. So these are models in which we frame ourselves into to understand the universe. And these are only tools. Science is only a tool, and it's not authority. It's only a tool for us to perceive the universe. It's only a tool for us to predict the future, which is what science really is. We're just predicting the future. If you do this, what happens next? So this is a diagram for scientific models usually. So if we see this is a one-to-one model of the universe. And then if we want to analyze something within that universe, we have to use scientific models. So for example, if we're analyzing human-sized things, like a laptop for example, and we can use Newton's laws of motion to explain why this laptop is standing or is on the table and not moving. But Newton's laws of motion isn't entirely true. It's almost true, but it's not the entire truth. Because to get to that, we have to have a one-to-one model of the universe to explain everything, to explain why the laptop is there right now. So, models are just tools. We just use them and we do not, models are just tools. So, who's a fan here of Formula 1? Wala ata. Anyway, this is a sport where cars just run around the circle and then they go fast, which is cool to me, but evidently no one thinks it's cool. But anyway, we can explain all of the phenomenon within Formula 1 in the Newtonian model, which is first, second, and third law, and when the car goes around the corner, it goes fast, whatever. But all of those models are very limited. Like for example, in the quantum realm, in the super small realm of the universe, Newtonian mechanics just breaks down. It just does not work. So it's not true because it doesn't work, right? And like quantum mechanics also doesn't work for very large cosmic objects like planets and universes or solar systems. Because in this, what's accepted was Einstein's model of general relativity, which is true for big objects but not for small objects. So it's actually that's the biggest question, I guess, for physics. Like, is there a grand unified theory for to unify everything within this universe, from the smallest objects to the biggest objects, from the fastest objects to the slowest objects? So, as you can see, there's a lot of like untruth or incomplete truths to the universe and to our understanding, of the universe, which is science. We use science as a bridge to understand the universe, right? So these are examples of scientific paradigm shifts that happened before. So before, we believe, and this is science, there's already the scientific method here. We believed before that oceans and continents are static, it doesn't move. Well, it's still science back then, but is it true now? No, it's not. So there's a paradigm shift that happened, and then now the scientific consensus now is there are plate tectonics. So the Earth has plate tectonics, and they move around, which governs how the entire world works, the weather, the climate, and etc. So just evidently, from the shift to static continents and oceans to plate tectonics, within the same framework of science, then static continents and oceans isn't true. But are we really sure that plate tectonics is also true? We might have another new discovery, another paradigm shift in the future that says that plate tectonics isn't really true. So another one of the paradigm shifts that happen in the science world is Laplacian determinism to chaos theory. There's this Laplacian determinism before that says that if we can model every single unit within this universe, we can predict the future, like for certain. And that isn't really true anymore. Chaos theory suggests that even in a deterministic system, you cannot predict something if it's in a long time horizon. Like for example, double pendulums. It's a deterministic system. You have boundary conditions, you set boundary conditions, and then you drop it. And then after that, after a long period of time, you can't predict it anymore because very small change in our boundary conditions changes the entire output of the system. So there isn't really determinism in the universe, right? So what the hell are we doing? Science is practical. You know, we only use it to do things that's practical. Like for example, my example before in F1, they use Newton models and Bernoulli's equations to make the car go vroom, make the car go fast, right? So it's practical. So practical doesn't mean true. Because science is limited. In that F1 example, it's limited because we aren't really looking at like tiny, minuscule objects or big objects. We're just looking at F1 cars, which is, you know, human-sized. So what's important here is we need to have epistemic humility. What is this? We have to recognize that our views of the universe is limited. It's not entirely true and it's not set foot. We need to be open to new evidence. We have to constantly question whatever it is, even your professors or whatever. We have to constantly question this. And we have to avoid overconfidence. Because if we don't avoid overconfidence, what happens? What happens is this, dogmatism. Dogmatism is trying to put something to people, to control them, because what I am saying is true. This is unequivocally true. You cannot change this anymore. So, what's an example of dogmatism? This. You know this person, right? This is Adolf Hitler. He used science to actually be an anti-Semite. He used eugenics. Eugenics is when you try to filter out some of the race. And this is because of science, right? But it's not good. I mean, obviously, right? So, the point I'm trying to put here is you have to be skeptical. Be skeptical of everything, including science. So, is the Earth flat? Yes. I'm just kidding. I'm not saying it's flat, but it might be. You know, but it's not because the round model of the Earth is much closer to the truth than the flat Earth, which kind of makes sense, right? So we have to balance trust and skepticism, because if you're too skeptic, then you become a flat earther. But if you're too trusting, you put this science on a pedestal, become dogmatic, and treat it like God, you become Hitler. So I'm just gonna tell you this. A quote from Socrates is that the only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. Thank you.